I am a slow poke when it comes to making some videos, especially videos like this, where usually it would take me a couple takes to get what I have to say out. And as is the case with this video, this is a reshoot because I decided after I looked at yesterday's video, number one, it looked like I was constipated, but number two, I also didn't have as much time to reflect on what I had seen as I do now. With that being said, let's go over how The Price is Right celebrated the 30th anniversary of Plinko 8 months later with an All-Plinko episode for the Friday episode of Premiere Week. As you well know, Plinko is probably the most popular game in the rotation on the show. For me, I don't mind the game, but it does make me wonder how it got to be such a cult following. I mean, it's not like there's a spectacular win every time it's played. The cash prize is good, but really, it's not what you remember when you play Price, so... And you see it rarely hit. Like, maybe you'll get one time out of 5, if they get 5 chips, where it's 1, so... The cult following I never really got, but I understand that it does whip the current generation of Price fans into a frenzy. So, when I heard about this a few months ago, that they were going to do an All-Plinko episode, it did intrigue me. I wondered, how could you play a game 6 times on a show and have it not bore the ever-loving hell out of you? Witnessing yesterday's episode, some of those questions were answered, and for the most part, the show flowed pretty good. But, of course, it always comes down to the contestants and how they did. So it was a mixed bag for obvious reasons. Now, as far as the structure goes, I do give them credit, great credit, that they did manage to keep the smaller prizes and the cars in the show by mixing up the Plinko game a little bit. In terms of playing for the cars, they put the car in the $10,000 slot, and then if you hit it, they reverted it back to 10 grand. So it was a nice, have a $40,000 possibility and a car. For the small prize games, they put them in the $1,000 slots, and if you hit them, you won the prize. So that was very unique. And I actually think, now that I've reflected on it, this would be a good thing to mix it up a little bit in Plinko. You have more possibilities to play the game if you played them the way you did yesterday, and you have more variety in your game rotation, which, considering how much they play games like Gas Money and That's Too Much, is probably a really good thing. So I liked how they did that. I really, as far as like the reveals, you would think after like the 3rd time you're saying you're gonna play Plinko, that these contestants would figure out, oh, it's an All-Plinko day. Drew Carey, I mean, seriously, are your contestants that big of a bunch of doofuses that you have to basically egg them on, like you're Howie Mandel revealing the next briefcase? Well, we're playing Plinko. We played Plinko earlier today. We're not gonna play that again, are we? And then later on, almost as if it's in the front to Price fans going, well, if you're a fan of double prices, don't tune in today, or something like that. That got kind of grating. And of course, the contestants, and I don't want to harp on them because I know, having watched Price is Right pretty consistently, more so now than I did when I was younger, I get that the contestants many times are going to be thicker than a bag of bricks, and not be the kind of people I would want to hang around if I wanted to keep my sanity. So I know the contestants are going to be bad, but did it seem like, particularly yesterday, they were worse than the usual? I mean, especially that last guy, Eric Estrada. No, not that Eric Estrada. This Eric Estrada would rather cartwheel down the aisle and then do a belly flop on stage when he finally got on stage. Listen, Eric, you're not 5 years old and you're not using a frickin' slip and slide. Show yourself much better on TV. Maybe your employers are watching. Would they want to see you act like an ass on the job? I'm sure the chips do not like that. But, yeah, the contestants seemed louder, more obnoxious, and, except for one, really, really annoying. But again, this is The Price is Right. What the hell do you expect? As far as the luck of the games, yeah, it was really disappointing that the cars were not won. Although I think Mike Richards now has another devious plan in his attempt to try and give away as little as possible. All the fans out there know about that. But yeah, it was disappointing the cars weren't won. I didn't like, and they were the worst playings, because I think that was where the skunking, the zero, took place for one. And what was it, a $200 win or something in the other? $1,200? I forget what it was, because by the time it got to like the fifth playing, I was numb to it. I was ignoring it for the most part because it was very painful to watch. But again, it is nothing to do with the way they did the show. I applaud that they managed to make it tolerable to a degree to play Plinko 6 times. But this is a concept. This kind of concept, to celebrate an anniversary with an all-day playing, could not be done with pretty much anything else in the rotation. Maybe cliffhangers, maybe some other popular games, but not very many could pull this off without you going, oh my god, that's too much! So while it was good that they did manage to celebrate the anniversary, albeit this should have been done in January, and they did make it more of a variety of game, it's still hit or miss at best. And as such, as a one-off only thing, I can deal with it. But please do not let this spread to other pricing games. That's why you have almost 80 or so games in the rotation, because you need to have that variety to keep the viewers interested. If you're going to do an all-day playing of cover-up, people are not going to be interested, especially when it's lost 5 or 6 times in the show. So, kudos to Plinko for its 30th anniversary. I like the structure of the show. Just don't do it again.